for joining me today. I'm so excited that December has finally come around because that means it's time for DieCember. And DieCember is a fun event that Simon Says Stamp hosts every year during the month of December to celebrate the love of die cutting in the paper crafting industry. Of course, with DieCember, they always have a great and fabulous release, and this one is no different. This month's release features a ton of spectacular new products, including tons and tons of dies. I'm going to be using quite a few of them today to create this beautiful card here that features the birch column die set. This birch column die has these really beautiful birch trees that you might find a little bit familiar because they are similar to the birch trees that were included in the birch frame die that was released over Stamptember. I'm going to be die cutting this birch border die into a piece of watercolor paper. This is Canson XL watercolor paper. I'm going to line it up on the left-hand side, and then I'm going to go ahead and run this through my Big Shot machine. Once I've run it through my Big Shot machine, I'm going to go ahead and remove the die, and I'll pop out the negative pieces. I love that this birch border die cuts these trees along the edges of the paper, but it leaves the entire thing intact, so it's perfect for doing inlay die cutting as well. I wanted to do some watercoloring to add some color to these birch trees, so I'm going to start off by using a light green Zig Clean Color marker, and I'm going to apply a first layer of color down onto the leaves of this little birch tree frame. As I'm applying the color, I'm blending it out with my water brush. This is a Simon Says Stamp water brush, and I'm going to go ahead and let that green layer dry before I go ahead and add some more shading. As I'm waiting for this to dry, I'm using a blue-gray Zig Clean Color marker, and I'm adding some shading along the little notches of the birch trees. I think this really adds some depth to the trees. Birch trees are normally white, so I didn't want to go ahead and add any more color other than the gray. And I think that really adds that nice bit of pop to the trees and let them have that nice white color tone. I'm also using the marine green watercolor brush, and I'm going to go ahead and apply some of that along the edges of the tree over top of that light green that we applied down. As I'm doing this, I'm blotting it up with my dry rag, and that's allowing me to get some different textures and also lets me show through that lighter green that we had underneath. Applying the darker green over top of the lighter green might seem a little counterintuitive, but doing this in the layers like this allows you to get a lot more dimension. Now, because I want to pop this up off of my card, I'm going to cut some foam tape down into really thin strips. You don't have to do this. You could apply this down onto your card base fully flush onto the card. However, I love having the dimension, so I'm going to go ahead and add this down onto my card using some foam tape. The card base that I'm using is a Nina Solar White cardstock base, and I've got it at a side fold, so that way when you open it up, it's got a side fold along the left-hand side there. After I've attached that down, it's now time to go ahead and work on my sentiment. So I die cut this heartfelt die, which is from this really beautiful heartfelt die collection. It goes with the heartfelt word in 3 different fonts, so it's really easy to match these up with the style of card that you're creating. I'm going to go ahead and trim this down into a little strip. This creates almost the look of a little label with the negative die cut sentiment in there. I think it really looks nice with the birch trees. I die cut this from some slate gray cardstock from Simon Says Stamp, so it's not quite black, but it's a really, really dark gray. I'm going to go ahead and end up laying this onto the right-hand side of my card. First, I wanted to add a little squiggly border here, so I'm using this really pretty swirly pattern. Don't remember the name of it, but I'll go ahead and link that in the video description below. But this really beautiful swirly design looked really nice layered underneath the heartfelt die cut sentiment, and also adds just a little bit of texture to our birch tree frames here. I went ahead and applied some liquid glue to the back side of it, and I die cut this from some vellum so it has a translucent appearance. My final bit of embellishing, I just added a little bit of distressed stickles along the edges of the leaves. I think that really adds a nice frosty, crusted look to the birch tree leaves. Really adds that nice wintry feel. I also attached a few sparkling clear sequins in some random places along the background of this card, and that finished off this design. So I hope you've enjoyed and got some inspiration on using a few of the new products from the Simon Says Stamp DieCember release. I will have another project to share with you tomorrow as part of the DieCember release blog hop from Simon Says Stamp. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and head on over to my blog where you can get more information not only on this card, but also on the DieCember release. I'll also have links to all the products as well. And if you enjoyed this video, here's a couple more you might find interesting featuring Simon Says Stamp exclusive products. Thanks so much for watching. Please give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can connect with me on social media at Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, as well as my blog. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you again soon.